there be a dilation from center O, the dilation of P is equal to P prime, and the dilation of Q is equal to Q prime. Examine the drawing below. What can you determine about the scale factor of the dilation? So if P is the original, and it gets closer to O for P prime, that means that the scale factor has to be less than 1 because P prime is, because OP prime is shorter than OP. The same thing is true about OQ prime is shorter than OQ. In 7th grade, we learned that was called a reduction. In 8th grade, we're just going to determine what the scale factor is, and then we will use the number instead of whether it's a reduction or an enlargement. 3. Let there be a dilation from center O with a scale factor of 4. Then the dilation of P is P prime, and the dilation of Q is Q prime. It says OP is 3.2 and OQ is 2.7. Use the drawing below to answer parts A and B. The drawing will not be to scale. So, we have the setup where the scale factor R times the original will equal the dilation. Those absolute value bars just mean the distance of that, or the magnitude of it. So in this one, our scale factor is 4. The distance of OP is 3.2. And when we multiply 4 and 3.2 together, we get 12.8. So this length of OP prime is 12.8 centimeters. Now let's do the same thing for OQ. The scale factor times the original equals the dilated part. So 4 times 2.7 will tell us the length of OQ prime. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 more makes 10. We had 1 decimal place in our answer, so we need 1 in our question, so 1 in our answer, which means it is 10.8 centimeters. In number 4, it says, let there be a dilation from center O with a scale factor R. The dilation of A is A prime, the dilation of B is B prime, and the dilation of C is C prime. Then it gives us several lengths of segments. Use the drawing below to answer parts A through C. It says, using the definition of dilation with lengths OB and OB prime, determine the scale factor. We know that if we take the scale factor and multiply it by the original, it gives us the new length. In this case, we don't know R, but we do know that OB is 15 and OB prime is 5. We can set this up like an equation and solve it for R. Divide both sides by 15, and the 15s divide out, and 5/15 is reduced to 1/3. So our scale factor is 1/3. B, use the definition to determine OA prime. Now I know R is 1/3. OA has a length of 3. So OA prime will be 1 because 1/3 of 3 is 1. C says use the definition to determine the length of OC prime. R is 1/3. OC was 6. 1/3 of 6 is 2. So the length of OC prime is 2.